I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
What an exciting Friday we have ahead of us. I'm serious. We got softball at 11. We got baseball at 3. We got super regionals. We got conference tournaments. I'm giddy with excitement as we get underway today.
You're not giddy enough to do the show live from Bogle Park. I wanted to do it on the berm this morning.
Well, I would have been fine with that.
It was a little late notice.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The announcement came out late afternoon yesterday, and we were nearing the end of our day,
right?
And to ramp right back up,
well,
and get a picnic table, and
it would have required Edward and Bart to get there last night and string wires and all kinds of stuff. So we'd have the ability to go on the air today. But as it turns out, it's fine in the studio. Hey, welcome to the show. The lights just came on.
We couldn't even get the lights on.
No,
in
we
here.
couldn't even get the lights on in here. How are we going to get to the ballpark? But
can you take a cooler? People have asked me this, and I just tell them yes, and I don't bother checking. I just absolutely you can take a cooler to the berm at Bogle, like the hog pen.
Yeah,
I mean I figured, but
yes,
I usually do a little bit better job of getting the information, and yeah, you can.
That's an easy one. Though.
That's
an easy one. Yeah. Bart's got your game face on early today.
Oh yeah,
he's got a cooler. He's got a cooler iced down.
Do you really? You got it iced down in the office
in the
there?
new vehicle.
No, it will be before 11 though.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Really?
You going to sit on the berm today?
No.
You don't just go out there for half an inning or something?
Sign some autographs?
I have before.
to introduce
well,
yourself?
Yeah. I got to watch out.
Yeah.
I don't want to get cornered, Chuck, like I know you do.
No.
When you go to play.
I don't know if he's up this early, but I'm going to tell you who loves doing that. Matt Zimmerman.
Oh, no, nobody loves it more.
Nobody loves walking through the crowd more than Coach Z.
I got $100 for anybody that wants to take Bart's cutout to the game today. Got $100 for anybody that wants to.
I was going to say,
you got to get it in there. You got to get it on television. Not hard. I don't know if you've watched the softball games. Not hard to get on television.
Yeah, I mean it's a small small structure, and so
you can do it.
There's a pretty good chance you're going to get on camera.
You might get thrown out, but there's places to watch the game.
Well, I wonder if you'd have to buy a ticket for the cutout. Everybody's got to have a ticket. I mean, even a baby's got to have a ticket.
A lap child.
People. Well, I mean, if he's going to take up a seat,
get a lap ticket.
People always ask, "Hey, do I have to have a ticket for my baby?" Yes. Everybody breathing's got to have a ticket. But now the cutout, that's a whole different deal. I don't know.
What was that weekend at Bernie's? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, this guy's dead, but I had to bring him.
Just a cutout. But he takes up a whole seat. So, there's the quantity.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I think it's going to be a fun day. If the weather will just hold off, I think it's going to be great.
I kind of got excited that there's going to be a game early.
About the time that ends, grab a little lunch, and then the baseball
I have
game
an 11
starts.
a.m. meeting, and I'm unsure what to do with it because it's been rescheduled a couple of times.
Well,
and
did you reschedule it, or did they reschedule it?
They rescheduled it.
Well, you'd be justified in one reschedule.
Yeah. Well, it's about me wanting to get something done.
Oh, okay.
That's the producer-esque world. Like, when we do the college football playoff show, you're on everybody else's time because you're chasing them.
I understand.
You've got to get that interview. You've got to get that. So you take the call when they can do the call.
So what are you going to do?
I'm probably going to reschedule it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, it's a big game.
I want to watch the game.
Super regionals.
Yeah. I want to watch the game.
And, so I'd do the same thing
Chuck,
if I were you.
Chuck, you learn in life. It's about the experiences.
You're right.
No,
you're right.
I've had this conversation with you about other things. Hey, man, have an experience.
Yeah.
Do it. I remember when you
Get out of the house. Quit being
when
a
you
hermit.
were at the
Have
Garden.
a life. Get a life.
When
I
you
think
were
was the phrase.
When you were in New York in December for the Arkansas Michigan game, I told you. I said you need to go into Madison Square Garden and you need to buy yourself a hat. You need to get you a hoodie. You need to embrace the moment. Go around and look at the history.
Oh God!
Because he grew up being a Knicks fan, and he's about to call a game in Madison Square Garden.
was life coaching me.
Save your notes from the game.
Really
save your prep. Save your board. What do you call that board? Your
spotting
spotting
board?
board.
Yeah, spotting board.
Save it all. Like memorialize it. Put it up on
I
the
took
day
pictures.
I went.
I took pictures.
And it turned out that whole trip was life-changing for you.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I don't know.
But,
I mean, it rekindled your love of the
Well,
Knicks.
it did, but
It sparked that nostalgic
you're
fire
right.
in you.
It did, and it was great. And that
And had you treated it like another ho-hum play-by-play game, I just got to show up and go to work today. I mean, not that you don't call every
Well,
game
I mean,
with gusto and
it was the
passion.
Garden. It was the
But, I
Garden.
mean,
Whether
you
I
know.
loved the Knicks or hated the Knicks, it was the Garden. It's the most storied arena in sports.
Sometimes we just got to slow down and smell the flight by Yingling and enjoy ourselves.
We do.
And that's what today's going to be, Friday.
I think it's going to be that kind of day.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Bart sounds like he's going to be ready by game time.
And I'm a believer in the weather's going to work out for Memorial Day weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah, I don't know when, how, what day, but it just be
You're
ready
just going
for
to ignore that 70 and 80%?
Well, just be ready for it. You know, you just kind of just go into the weekend knowing it's going to rain some, but know that a window is coming. And whatever you wanted to do it in that window.
I will say this. I was watching the early morning weather on television before I came in. Lots of times when, and, you know, we're all guilty of this, there's bad weather coming in. It's like, oh, this is going to be the storm, you know, the storm to end all storms. They weren't really talking like that this morning, which made me feel like, yeah, we're going to get rain. They were talking more about flooding than storming. But, you know, I guess rain's rain.
Well, right? I guess it depends on what you have planned. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think grilling will work out for at some point. By the way, is it rain all over the state? Is it just
Northwest Arkansas is going to see the biggest impact.
we're gonna be,
expecting upwards of 6 to 8 inches of rain.
That's a lot of
over the
rain.
weekend.
It's a lot of rain.
well, that is a lot of rain.
There's no
Mow
way
your
around
yards
it.
today, folks. Mow
So,
your yards
I
today.
mean,
Not a lot of golf this weekend. That's probably not in the equation.
You know, we're talking about today's game
Sadly
being
not.
moved up to 11. I mean, you kind of wonder how they're going to juggle this for the remainder of the weekend. I mean, hopefully they win it in they can win this in 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best of
Hopefully,
three.
hopefully they win it, you know, today and tomorrow, and that's that. But you never know.
The Hogs play at 3
They do.
baseball in
Ole
Hoover.
Miss,
In Hoover.
Ole Miss, and Hoover.
Trivia question
Yes,
for anybody interested. How many seats, how many people does the Hoover Met hold?
it's
Hoover
around
Metropolitan Stadium. How many seats does it hold?
now exactly, or you know,
Yeah, I'm
within
capacity.
1,000,
Capacity. What is it?
somewhere around
If
16,000.
it's listed, you know, like Bud Walton would be listed at 19.2,
yeah.
right? What's Baum Walker listed at now? Do we know? Dude, I haven't seen. I don't.
I
read
want to
those
say 10-8, but I don't know if that's right. or
Game
not.
notes.
10-7-37
Baum Walker.
Pretty close.
Baum Walker's 10-7-37.
seats. Yeah.
What an amazing number.
What
Well,
about the
considering that it's routinely around like 11, 12,000 at the game. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you get the hog pen.
That's right.
And so, by the way, I keep having, as we talk about this, all I can see are kids chasing down foul balls in Hoover, in wrestling,
yeah.
rolling down the hill,
I think they
and
need
running
to have
off, holding it in their hand. It's like a little mini version of Sandlot at these games.
They need to have a
So,
still
so
shot
what's
camera.
what's your
down
what's
there.
your question? How many?
What, are you looking it up?
No,
The ballpark
I'm
at
I'm
Hoover.
lost.
The ballpark
Yeah.
at Hoover. How many people does that have?
You're lost.
Oh,
It's 16. It's
Oh.
around 16.
I would say
And here's
like-
how I know. Here's how I know. When Arkansas played Alabama there.
You're wrong.
No, I'm right.
no. I'm
No, go ahead.
I'm betting you're not.
No.
No.
I'm going $1, Bob.
Let me hear. Let me hear you.
$1.
Let me hear you on why you know you're right.
Because Arkansas played Alabama there in the 99 SEC Tournament Championship game, and it was the largest crowd since Michael Jordan's last game as a Birmingham Baron. And at the time, unless something's changed, the largest crowd in the history of that ballpark was Jordan's last game, and it was 16 and some change. Now, I don't know. I've not been there in 10 years, so I don't know what it is now. But that is the truth.
I think it's smaller than Baum.
Yeah.
The ballpark in
you're
Hoover?
also you're also
Oh, you're wrong.
You're also wrong.
I mean, you're wrong about
also
that.
And the answer is 10,800.
Okay. So it's bigger by
Well,
like
those
60
are
seats.
Those are seats. But they had 16,000 in there for the Arkansas-Alabama game.
Dang right they
Look
did.
it up. I mean, look it up.
Yeah, it's in,
I
the
am.
record books.
I mean, look it up.
It's in
I
the
was
history
there.
books.
I was there. And look up the largest crowd they ever had there. It was Michael Jordan's last game.
Michael Jordan playing baseball is that was still bizarre. That is still bizarre to me that he was playing.
Oh,
baseball.
he was. And
But people they would flock to see
it
that.
shows you, in all honesty, it shows you that, at least arguably, one of the 2 or 3 hardest things to do in sports is hit a breaking ball. Because, I mean, Michael Jordan mastered basketball. I mean, mastered it. But he couldn't hit a breaking pitch to save his life. And that's the.
He also didn't look nearly as graceful running on a baseball.
Well,
diamond.
he's 6'6", you know.
Fun fact, the opening scene of the movie Space Jam was actually filmed at the Hoover Met.
Not that anybody cared or wanted to know anything about this, but I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll throw it out there. And look what happened. And we went, you mentioned the Price is Right. Drew Carey, 67 today.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a typo?
No, that is not
Drew
a typo.
Carey, 67. Boy, that's the best show.
That's the staple of every sick day, right there. Every sick day a kid's ever had at school.
Okay,
You watch The Price is
I'm
Right.
going to tell you, Chuck, I don't know if you care about this either, but I'm going to tell you. In high school, I worked for a landscaping company. I mowed lawns every day, either after school, and then when I was a senior, you have shortened days, you get fewer classes, and and then on Saturdays or whatever, you're out there in the summer, all summer. I'm out there mowing lawns, and I'd be weed eating around somebody's house, and it oftentimes you're mowing lawns of people who are retired. And you can just see right in the window, and they're just watching The Price is Right. And, oh, did I just want to have a day where I wasn't mowing a lawn and I could just watch The Price is Right. It is the sign of a day off.
Oh, you're right.
It's a symbol of a day off.
Or
watching The Price is Right.
Or a summer morning.
Yes.
Summer morning when you're a kid.
Yeah. I'm just, you wake up and you think you have no cares in the world, and you're just rooting for numbers.
That's right.
You're just, and they made you want to. You rarely were rooting against anybody on a showcase, right? It's one of those shows where you're always rooting for them to win.
Well, and back in the old days, a new car meant $2,900, $3,000 added to the showcase price. They'd give you a Pinto, back in the day.
It's probably the most scaled down version
absolutely.
of the car.
Yeah, and
it's a new car.
Now, it's a new car. If it was like one you'd want to drive,
yeah,
you have to factor in $50,000 minimum.
If you have $3,000 of sales tax to pay on you can take it home with you.
That's right. But I
can you write a check right now for the sales tax? Otherwise, we may have to keep it.
We got a deal for you, though.
All right, we got softball at 11. We got baseball at 3. We got a lot to get to. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Friday morning, 6:15. Good morning. He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors The Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors The Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Let me share this. What I've learned in life. There are incompetent people in every walk of life. It doesn't mean they hate you. They might just be incompetent.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Going to talk a little college football later today. Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports will be here. We've actually got a mountain of college football, or a mountain of info, I guess. Things to discuss with Ross.
Yeah, starting with the playoff. They fixed the seating.
Yeah, they
made
fixed
an
that.
announcement yesterday, the College Football Playoff Committee. They're going to do the seedings just like the rankings come out. So just because you got there you go.
It's a first step.
Hey,
it's a
listen,
first
About
step
time.
right
like
there.
that was always the one of the dumbest parts.
Well, now
of this
come
thing.
on, Bart. Let's
No.
give them credit.
No.
Let's give them
It's
credit.
a first step.
They made a quick adjustment. I gave them credit.
Okay, they can have credit for that, but then they lose the credit for being dumb in the first place with how they set it up.
Well, but you got to get it
Cancels
passed.
it-
You got to
cancels
get
it
it
out.
done.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make concessions
Sure.
to get it done.
Sure.
See,
And
now
then you
there's a
come back
guy.
and you fix
there's
it
a
later.
guy who understands process, Bart, and bureaucracy. That's a guy right here who understands. There's got to be some steps. You got to meet people where they are.
You can't
to
go
get
from
the
A to
playoff
Z.
started. They had to
Yeah.
we'll make these concessions, and then they're like, see, that doesn't work, and everybody's like, oh.
Now, if we can just get rid of the little guy, now if we can just turn this into a 12-team SEC Big Ten playoff, we can find out who
really
the
good.
truly best team
There
is
are
in
no
college football.
Cinderellas in
That's
college
right.
football.
We're in a no Cinderella zone. when it
There
comes to
just
the college-
aren't.
This is not basketball. They're trying their best to turn this into a basketball tournament where you got March Madness in December and January, and it's not going to happen.
Even Rudy was at Notre Dame.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
There's no Cinderella.
Yeah, I mean, and it just, and that's not to say there won't be an upset somewhere down the line.
Well, there are,
but you think about it, for Cinderella to win the national championship in football, there's got to be 3 or 4 upsets in a row. That's never going to happen. Now, they might win a game. You might have a one-off where, 16 beats a 1 or a 12 beats a 5 or whatever. But that's not going to happen like when you get to the Final Four championship games. It's just a different sport.
So what will happen? The rankings of the teams will continue to be done by the selection committee, and the teams ranked 5 through 12 will play in the first round with the higher seeds hosting the lower seeds. Seeds either on campus or at other sites designated by the higher seed institution. And then the top 4 seeds, as they should, get a bye. So this year what we had is if you won a conference championship, you got a bye.
That's right.
And that's, if you don't rank just because you won a lousy conference, if you're not one of the top 4 seeds in the rankings, you shouldn't get a bye. And that was the issue almost everyone had with the playoff last year. So they've made the correction. Anyhow,
and all 4 teams that had a bye lost anyway.
Right.
Where we're headed with college football and college sports in general, something that Ross has been on top of. He's really connected in D.C. and Ross Dellinger, Yahoo Sports, who will join us at 7:30. And they've paused this commission. But what does he think, based on all the people he's talking to, is really going to happen to lead to any sort of uniformity across college athletics and the out-of-control nature that we're currently living in? And does he think that rev share in this, quote, oversight of NIL, the way it's being done now, will it actually change anything? Is something that he knows a lot more about because of all the people he's talked to. So we'll just get kind of the state of the union from him at 7:30. I think you'll find it interesting. And if you don't, we will.
Well,
we'll find it interesting. And that's what, that's where we start most days.
It sounds to me like when you say, put a pause in the commission, it sounds to me like the commission's being scrapped, period. That this is not going to happen. The way Saban backed away from it so quickly.
That was a startup and backup
really
quick.
Well, and I read where Tuberville's going to leave the Senate and run for governor in Alabama, and I wondered if that had anything to do with it, because he's the one guy up there that, has coached college football, I guess. And Saban, for whatever reason, and we've speculated, almost as quickly as he said yes, said no, and then no again, and, even one more time, just for good measure. So it doesn't sound to me like it's going to happen. And as I've said before, we're all looking for somebody to fix this. We're looking for one person or one body to fix it. And respectfully, I'm not sure Congress is the place to look. I do understand the idea of uniformity federally.
Yeah.
But I think that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. Well, that might be true.
I think that's a pipe dream.
What is a dream that's not a pipe dream?
I'm not sure at this point.
Yeah.
I don't claim to have the answers. I don't. I'm just very skeptical that there's going to be a, quote unquote federal solution. I'm not sure I want those guys getting involved in all this. It's frankly a lot of the attorneys and judges who've put us in the spot we're in.
What kind of chance do you guys get me of landing Tuberville on the show?
Oh, you got a shot.
He's not responded to my text.
80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If
Better chance for me to land Saban or Tuberville for the show on this topic.
Tuberville.
Saban.
I haven't asked Saban. So right now we don't have any shot because I haven't texted him. But we can. But you kind of save these moments for the moments where you really, like you're not gonna.
I'd rather wait till
this
football season.
Waste a bullet. You don't want to waste a bullet.
I think. How about we try this? We try to get Tuberville once, and we try to get Saban every week during the season. Why not?
Yeah.
Maybe do it for free too.
Okay, who's our B plan? If we don't land Saban for every week during football season, who's our B plan? Steve Spurrier? Okay,
Well,
Spurrier would be good.
well.
or we could just have Matt Stinchcombe come on and impersonate him. Well, guys,
Get you some Arby's.
Bring Dr. Lou back.
Oh, well.
I'll take Houston Nutt once. I'll take Houston Nutt weekly in football
well, I mean,
season.
Absolutely.
He's around.
Maybe we'll do that.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, we got a little time, but I thought we should start our planning now.
Yeah, that's good. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's having the vision.
What convenience store are we going to today for breakfast?
Well, not Maverick.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we've already crossed them off the
So
list.
Jackson, what did you run Jackson off?
Yeah,
by
did
the
he
way?
quit?
He's
Did he
one
quit
day.
already?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Dude,
Really?
Listen, you started
Man,
with
you're
a
like
bang.
cracking the whip on him, man.
I mean,
what's going on over
Yeah,
there?
I was going to say, he started with a bang and
Yeah.
had him show up in the middle of the night.
I mean, told
and
him
then
to
he's
be
like,
at 3:45, and we don't make donuts, man. I mean, we do a radio show.
We're not a
We're not a bakery.
Nobody said 3:45.
Yeah,
Well,
you
No
did.
one was here at 3:45.
That was close. And so
He
what's
rolled
the-
in a couple minutes before you, Chuck.
We got to get him. We got to get him. We got to get him 5 days a week, man.
Oh,
All right.
Edward's a slave driver.
But I know he's got it. I know he's got a job, and so we got to navigate that. But listen, Jackson's he's star material.
yeah.
I mean, on the dime, like 25 convenience stores in
I know.
a radius around us here.
Really?
25.
Holy cow.
I don't know within a mile or two.
That is a go-getting intern right there.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he heard Bart's reporting, and he's like, I can do better.
Yeah.
He didn't say it out loud, but you could see it.
Well.
You could see it in his eyes.
Actually, on second thought, Tuesday, Thursday's just fine.
Well, he'd been in here 10 minutes yesterday, and Edward's, all right, I'm going to stand back here and watch you do that and see how you do it. It's like, Edward, he's been here 10 minutes.
Step on up. I'm tired. Run
We
the board.
are.
Run the board.
We do, just so you know, like this is a family community, the Chuck and Bo Show. That's what we are. And so we do just discuss things with you. We realize we're on the air, but that's just part of what most of the time. But what we're doing here. And I think, guys, that there's an opportunity for us to also just call places. Hey, what do you got? What do you have for breakfast? Yeah. What do you have today?
We can do that.
Just, like
we have a phone.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to send Bart out every time.
Mm-hmm. What's on the
We
menu
can
today?
call. Yeah, what do you have? Like Bart's over there reading the Moab burrito, and as he's reading it,
Someone takes it.
right out from underneath him.
I'm curious if Jackson would have secured the burritos.
And Mavericks review. It's good. Mavericks review. Who knows? This is the way sports can work too. You throw one strike, get a guy out right there. Who knows? Can change the course of history. But, for Maverick, their review could have come down yesterday to the only thing good for breakfast there got taken right out from underneath you, and we ended up with all the other stuff that wasn't very good.
Very true.
And their review could have been, completely different.
Very true.
Chuck and Bo recommended different. So
Chuck and Bo, Michelin
it's
star.
going to be our first.
Chuck and Bo stars.
Well, Chuck and I have been talking about this. We are going to start our own awards. We are.
Yeah,
and the
as
first
we
category
should.
might be convenience store breakfast. The best convenience store breakfast goes to. And we get it. We take a Chuck and Bo plaque, and we'll have to get one made up for the whole chain, So be careful.
Yeah. We might need to limit this to mom and pop shops now that we're talking.
But that's going to be first. I mean, you've already thrown the Casey's Pizza out there, so you're going to have to just probably try that.
Casey's Pizza's goat.
Get some Casey's
Goat
Pizza on the
breakfast
way to
pizza.
the softball game.
It's the early favorite. It's like, minus 180 right now.
The early favorite on the Oakland Sports app.
Yeah, it is.
Casey's breakfast pizza.
No question.
Well, we know who gets the Chuck and Bo award for best jeweler.
Jeweler of the year.
And coffee shop. And the best purple bag.
Realtor
in
of
town.
the year.
Blakeman's. Yeah. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. An experience unlike any other where you mark life's occasions. And there are a lot this time of year. You got graduation, birthdays, Mother's Day just went by, in case you missed it. Father's Day is coming up, in case you're going to miss it. And Blakeman's can always save the day. You come home with a purple bag, things will change rapidly and in a good way. It's where Arkansas gets engaged, too. Their newly renovated store is open now, 8,500 square feet of brilliance. At Blakeman's, go in there, the Cafe B coffee shop, Onyx coffee, lattes. Oh, it's just an experience unlike any other. It's more than jewelry. It's about your story at Blakeman's, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet Card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here. and there.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
They make those decisions a day after they get paid. They make sure they get all that money. It's just a dirty deal right now. I mean, it's just dirty.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How about U.S. Reed getting some recognition?
Yeah.
How about, remember
Don't
that?
want to give Arkansas any kind of good shot at it. They're going to let Arkansas inbounds the ball. Reed now 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Reed trying to dribble. 2 seconds, 1 second. Long shot. Got it!
If you're not familiar with that, that's U.S. Reed hitting the half-court shot to win the game, which was really the start of March Madness, the first time that they cut into a game to show a highlight.
If you're old enough to remember, you remember exactly where you were when that happened. It's like when Charles Ballantyne hit his shot to beat North Carolina. You remember where you were. You remember where you were when they beat UCLA in the NCAA tournament when Eddie Sutton first got it rolling. That was one of those moments that will live forever in Razorback lore, and no one who's old enough to remember will ever forget, because it was, it was a magic moment, and I'm getting goosebumps. I remember right where I was and who I picked up the phone and talked to, and it was a great day.
One of the most iconic shots,
absolutely,
in Razorback basketball history.
NCAA tournament history.
He's been elected to the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. A little more trivia. Edward, you're not in this. Where is the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know right where it is.
I know.
I think
It's
in
part
Waco.
it's part of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and it'll be part of their ceremonies. Well, I don't know where the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame is actually. It might be at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame.
Edward knows.
But the Texas ceremony is going to happen at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, which is located where? And this is why I eliminated Edward, because he used to drive by it every single day.
That's why I said Waco.
That's why you said Waco. Yeah. Did you ever go in there and just look around?
We shot interviews in there for some documentaries. It's really cool.
Is it cool?
Really cool. Yeah. They got a lot of
Do they have the Southwest Conference wing in there? Mm-hmm. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's really big.
Is there
really impressive. There's a big Arkansas
things
section.
in there?
Yep, big Arkansas section. And then the actual Texas Hall of Fame, too, just has tons and tons of stuff from every Texas professional team, organization, everything. It's really cool.
By the way, I am required by contract to tell you that Quinn Grovey is a member of the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. Anytime his name comes up, I have a contractual obligation to either refer to him as Razorback Great or Southwest Conference Hall of Fame.
Boy, I really put you on the spot there.
Well, no, it's fine. I was ready.
You were in danger. Yeah.
I was.
I could have put you in harm's way.
I know the rules.
Yeah.
The Grovey rules.
So we have a couple birthdays today. Bart did not deliver on the bad guys list. What'd you call it yesterday? You need the
outlaws.
The outlaw list.
Yeah.
Birthdays. So just reputable,
mobsters, people like that.
Drug deal, like those kind of guys.
Convicted felons.
Yeah. Cartel people, that sort of thing. Chuck wants to know when El Chapo's birthday is.
That's right.
He wants to send him a note. Look at this. He's going to send him a note on the Chuck and Bo
Hey,
letter.
we've got new stationery.
The stationery.
New stationery. Look at that.
Whoa,
it's fancy.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? It's been in my office for 3 months. I forgot it was in there.
Yeah. So it's new to us. That's basically what I was saying.
I moved my tax returns yesterday.
Moved his jacket.
And found them.
There they were.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got a couple birthdays. Ken Jennings. Who's Ken Jennings? He's 51.
He's the host of Jeopardy.
He is the host of
This
Jeopardy.
But
he used to be
former
Jeopardy.
champion.
He used to be the substitute, and now he's the host.
He was the all-time winningest player, and then went out. And Edward can correct me. When Alex Trebek passed away, Ken Jennings, they had a bunch of substitutes. And I guess Ken Jennings was voted in by the people that watched the show. Is that how it worked? Something like that?
No, he was just after a trial period.
No, that's incorrect.
How was the record crowd at the Hoover Met?
I know damn good and well I'm right about that.
10,008, but somehow they have a record crowd of 16,000.
Bart looked it up.
He did. You were right about that. If you missed it earlier this hour, we were the attendance, the capacity.
We got into a petty argument. What happened? That's why we got into one of those. I know I'm right arguments.
I say capacity was 10,008. You said that was impossible. That's what they listed at.
That's the number of seats.
It's the number of seats.
Chairbacks.
You can cram some people in there. Well beyond that, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't expect there to be anywhere near capacity for today's Arkansas Ole Miss game.
No, but they'll be chasing foul balls on that berm.
Yeah, we'll be watching. Anyhow, Jeopardy.
Yeah.
You want to play some Jeopardy?
Sure.
All right, we'll do it when we come back. It's also Drew Carey's birthday. We mentioned that.
I want to do a little showcase showdown.
He's 67. And, that we got to do a little prices right. We got game shows.
Wow.
So get you in a good mood Friday.
It really does. I like it.
Get you in a good mood Friday as we got an 11 a.m. Super Regional softball game and a 3 o'clock SEC tournament game to watch today. I think you should look at yourself today in the mirror and say, what's wrong with me?
Okay, I will.
I'm not talking about you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best car wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we have a very strict goofing off policy around here. We're all for it.
Well, a certain amount's required. It's in our contract.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Oh, we got to call audibles. We got to respond from time to time, and we got to take calls.
That's right.
And when Eddie calls in, Jeopardy can wait.
The world stops.
Eddie in Clarksville, as we hopefully stream live on the in the DC Center there in Clarksville. Not to be redundant, I guess I don't need.
Are you already at work, Eddie?
Are you at Are you at work?
No, sir, I'm not at work today. I kind of swapped schedules around, and I have an opportunity to spend more time with the family. And you know, I work Saturday, Sunday, and Monday now.
Okay.
So when I want to attend that game, I gotta think ahead. But you know, I've been talking about. You just went over special moments in time, and boy, I've been blessed. You just mentioned some of them. U.S. Reed shot. Our basketball program has beat some of the formidable teams ever put on a 5 slammer jammer. The Fab Five. And you talk about the shot. Woo! We beat number 1 North Carolina, and greatest, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan. And we've had some good players come through our program over the decades. And you talk about that special moment. I talked about when I was in the stands that day afternoon. You know what I realized when I watched the Heisman performance? Without a doubt, I consider it still hurts me and pains me today. It's one of the greatest performances I ever witnessed by a running back. By number 5. And, Houston Nutt said it best. Whoa, you better look at him a little closer. He's a football player. He even played quarterback that day.
You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
And,
was this yesterday?
I think we're seeing some performances right now in our softball train, in our baseball train. I mean, the whistle is starting to blow. I tell you what, they're winners. They're players. Let's play ball. I tell you what, when you talk about Bree Ellis, I mean the Queen Sutton, the SWAT, you talk about Lloyd. Woo! Players of the year in the toughest conference in America. Against the toughest competition week in, week out. And they got today, how great is this for a softball? What's on the line? First ever trip, I believe, if I'm correct, for our lady softball train. On the line, this weekend against the Rebs. How great is that? That's something, moments in time. Never take winning for granted. When you talk about our baseball, how many times have we been there? You look last night, Tennessee, didn't we just beat the Vols as they bounced the number 1 seed, Texas? I tell you what, I've just got a special feeling about these teams. You know what they have?
What's that, Eddie?
They have absolutely love for their coach. You can watch them. They love one another. That's the X factor. But you know what else they have? They have the greatest passionate fan base environment in the country. And they provide the flames. Woo! I'm reminded of a song. Back in the day, Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis. And you know what else?
That's great.
I tell you a song. I love songs and poems and quotes. I quoted this once, if you remember, Bo. Put this in your book, Chuck. I know this fan base and these players. Here's another X factor. They got that craving. What is a craving? What, something irresistible urge for a taste or something. And I'm starting to taste the mojo, baby. I'm starting to taste something special. Where both teams are going to punch their ticket. Woo! To compete for a national championship. We're players of the year in the toughest conference in America. How great is that?
That's great.
I'll leave you with this. Tupac is where I quoted this.
Wait. We're quoting Tupac here. All right, go ahead, Eddie.
He was a great, for those that listen to today, you don't know who he was. Well, he died before his time. He was a great entertainer, rapper, musician, and he composed a song called The Rose That Grew from the Concrete. And what it really symbolizes is through obstacles, you can burst through that concrete. And boy, is it a concrete to compete in the SEC. You think it's easy? Woo! Look at the teams you face week in, week out. And I tell you that somebody from the SEC is going to win the national championship. And I think it's going to be the Hog Train. I got a feeling. I got it craving.
I'm with you, Eddie. I'm with you, baby.
Because you know what? They got that love, baby. I'm going to leave you with this. You know what else? What's born in the USA? I was born in 1965 in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm a proud Russell Blowing Hawk fan. What's born in the USA, I've seen it many times, is the Woo Pig Suey by Bruce Springsteen. Pick it up, baby. Born in the USA, and the mojo is born. Woo!
Have a great Friday, Eddie.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I think that you have to go into it like you're going to try to win, you're trying to win it. What I want these guys to do is, go out and compete. I feel like our team needs to go down there and attack it. This isn't a victory lap. We got to go down there and try to play well. Our job is to go down there, prepare our team, and play well and, keep building momentum. I really don't want to waste the back-to-back games against Tennessee where we played, I felt like we played our asses off.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Man, it's finally Friday. And if you weren't fired up before Eddie's call, you are now. We got softball at 11. We got baseball at 3. Bart's got his game face on early. That was Matt Hobbs right there.
He was a great guest earlier this week.
He really was good.
U.S. Reed's going into the Southwest Conference Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. Straight seating for the college football playoff. They got it right. They fixed it after year one. So wherever the rankings fall, the top 4 seeds will get buys regardless of their conference championships. Last year, if you won your conference championship, you could have been 8th in the rankings, and you get a bye. And we all thought that had to be fixed, and they heard us, and they changed it. The Colorado Rockies, for those wondering, are off to the worst start in the modern era.
1895.
Of MLB.
Yeah. They're horrible.
8-42.
All those clever sound effects.
Yeah, they're 8-42.
That one really got me.
Get Edward going. Yeah, it did. That really tickled you, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a rib tickler.
And what? And then the Thunder, blah, 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 blah. The Thunder go up 2-0 after Shea Gilgeous-Alexander scored 38 points after getting his MVP trophy before the game. And then he just goes out and puts up 38. So the Thunder roll 118-103 over the T-Wolves to take a 2-0 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. When do the Knicks come back from
Tonight. Tonight's the night.
Man, I hope they're able to recover.
Well, so do I.
Boy, that was tough.
It was a tough one. You're right. It was 2 days ago. Doesn't matter now.
We got a big weekend. It's going to rain all weekend. We got 6 to 8 inches of rain in Northwest Arkansas.
6 to 8 inches of rain.
Wherever you are, we hope it's not too bad.
Sorry.
We hope you get a window of an opportunity for Memorial Day weekend, and then on Monday, take a moment to actually remember all of those who have sacrificed for us, so we could have what we have. It is Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully you have the day off. We will not be here.
I was going to say, we're going to be here Monday?
We will not be here on Monday.
Okay.
But if you're craving the Chuck and Bo Show, you can just go to your podcast app.
It's right there.
Spotify or Apple, and just search the Chuck and Bo Show, and you can go back and listen to one that you missed before. We've got, we
got you covered on Monday.
We do it every day here. So, there's plenty of opportunity to go back and listen to a previous show. Okay, so you guys want to play Jeopardy because...
Well, it's Ken Jennings' birthday, and Bart's gone to all the trouble. So we would be remiss.
Yeah, well, because he's gone to all the trouble.
Yeah. And because it'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
I'll take when are we getting new coffee pods for 1,000?
Yeah.
So here's what we've got.
All right.
Well, these are all real Jeopardy questions that have been on the show. Okay, I have 3 sports categories and 1 just regular Jeopardy category, and we've got Final Jeopardy. We'll do this we'll do this in parts.
Okay.
But I will let y'all pick which category you want. And then we'll just go through the categories.
Let's just see how
okay?
it goes. I don't have high hopes for this.
So our categories are sports nicknames, talking football, playing sports ball, and LO, in which each correct response is a 2-word response where the first word begins with L, the second word begins with O.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, you're in charge. Whatever.
No, pick a category.
Talking football.
Talking football for 200. Your choice. Do or don't name this play in which the quarterback runs the ball and can choose to pitch it to another back. Chuck.
Option.
Yeah. What is an option?
Bo, what is an option?
That is a stupid rule. That is a stupid rule.
All
we
answers
talked
must
about
be
this,
full-
Chuck.
in the form of
Yeah,
a
but you
talked
didn't
about
say it. When you were
It's
given
Jeopardy.
instructions.
It's Jeopardy.
Alex Trebek always said, and remember, all answers must be framed in the form of a question. You didn't say that.
All right. Talking football 400, Tom Landry perfected the shotgun formation with this team.
Ding, ding, ding.
Bo.
Who are the Dallas Cowboys?
Correct.
This is ridiculous.
Talking football 600. Come on, Chuck.
All right, I'm ready.
How much money do I have?
By signaling for one of these, a returner can reel in a kick.
Ding, 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 ding.
You've got to wait for me to finish
What
the
is a
question.
fair
but
catch?
It's Chuck.
Yeah. Golly, Chuck. I couldn't beat the
Well,
table.
I was
fast
down
enough.
2-0. I had to score.
Talking football 800. These penalties are simultaneous violations by the offense and defense that cancel each other out.
What are offsetting penalties?
What are offsetting penalties?
And the $1,000 clue in talking football. It's the nickname of the Minnesota Vikings defensive line that took them to 4 Super Bowls.
Who are the purple people eaters?
Bo gets that one. And that
I've broken into a sweat.
Me too.
Good Lord.
Man.
Okay, we'll do
Wow,
one
we're
more.
not
Animals.
We're not competitive at all. Can you imagine family game night?
Neither one of us wanted to win.
We'll do one more category here.
Chuck's like I had to score.
And then take a break so nobody dies.
Down 2-0.
So that leaves our remaining 3 categories: sports nicknames, playing sports ball, or LO.
Okay. But we're not playing now. We're
going to go ahead and do another round now.
Oh, okay.
Bo, you got the last clue right, so
I'm
you
playing
get
under
your
protest.
pick.
LO.
LO. Okay.
Re-explain the category.
Going outside of the...
So each correct response is a 2-word response. The first word begins with L. The second word begins with O.
Gotcha.
Okay. LO, a pink flamingo or a cute little garden gnome, for example. Chuck.
What is a lawn ornament?
That's correct.
Wow.
Correct.
From way downtown. Bang!
LO for 400. During the War of 1812, ships like Hamilton and Scourge sank here near the Niagara River.
Pass.
The correct response is Lake Ontario.
Okay.
For 6, not a request. You should follow one of these legally issued by a police officer, or you may risk jail time.
One more time.
Yeah.
Not a request.
It's not a
You
request.
should follow one of these legally issued by a police officer, or you may risk jail time.
Huh.
The correct response is what is a lawful order?
A lawful order.
Okay.
Yeah, the LO part.
This is throwing me.
For 800, in 1984, the NBA championship trophy was renamed for this sports executive who managed
Larry O'Brien.
presidential run.
I was supposed to go.
You did that to me. You did that to me in the last game. You stole one from me.
I was waiting for him to call
Well,
on me.
I was disrespectful. I just jumped right in the way you were earlier.
The most interesting part of that clue is who managed JFK's presidential run.
Larry O'Brien did that?
And to finish the category in LO, the southern U.S. is dotted with these evergreens used for shade and shelter.
One more time.
The southern U.S. is dotted with these evergreens used for shade and shelter.
Huh.
Palm trees doesn't work.
What are live oaks?
Okay. Live oaks. Live oaks.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was a hard category, Bart.
That makes me.
That was the real Jeopardy category.
That makes me think of Harvey Updike. Who is Harvey Updike?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was
that was really good radio.
choice.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, I got to say, the lawn ornament, that was that was good.
But it was for 200.
That was good.
I mean, everything after that.
I don't know. It felt a lot more valuable than that to me.
Well, I would have probably had that as like a $600 question as opposed to.
That's what I mean. It felt a lot
so
more valuable.
Through two rounds, Chuck, you're at 2,200. Bo at 1,600.
Okay.
We'll revisit later.
Yeah.
What to watch is brought to you by Macadoodles. Macadoodles in Bella Vista, just north of Bella Vista, and Bentonville. Guess who in Bentonville? The best selection you're going to find anywhere, and a great place to go to stock up for your Memorial Day weekend. Whatever you've got going on, but a watch party, I don't know, you're watching the Super Regional, you're watching the SEC tournament, you're watching some NBA playoffs, or you're just hanging out all weekend. They got the best selection of wine, spirits, craft beer, any beer you want, any beer you can imagine at Macadoodles. And they have wine tasting open to close 7 days a week. They've got spirit tasting on the weekend. An assortment of spirits. By the way, try a new cocktail. You want to make a blend, they can help you figure all of that out when you go to Macadoodles, just north of the state line, just north of Bella Vista, or Guess Who in Bentonville. So today at 11 o'clock, we got softball to watch.
That's right.
Is it streaming? Is it on?
What's the story?
No, it's on ESPNU?
It's on the U. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's at 11. And then, of course, the SEC Network carrying baseball, the entire baseball tournament.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the 11 and the 3 are what we in the industry call hard starts, meaning there aren't games before those games. So they're going to start on time on the channel where it's listed.
Correct.
Okay.
Nobody's correcting you after lawn ornament.
Well, that's true. I did kind of establish myself right there with that.
Yeah, it was. I'm going to be honest. It kind of intimidated me the rest of the segment.
I could tell.
I need to take a TO here and try to bounce back like the Knicks are going to try tomorrow.
Yeah, tonight. You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I mean, I have a keen perception of the obvious. Let me tell you, I notice things that other people don't notice, and I am curious about why this has happened.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are we getting any complaints? We're not talking enough sports
we've
today.
Had a few.
Well,
Not
good.
anything
That tells
bad.
you you're doing the right
Although a texter did point out you did not phrase purple people eaters in the form of a question. And if we were to go back and roll the
me?
tape, I think those points would
I did.
probably be moved to me.
No, I think he's wrong.
Yeah.
Or they're wrong.
Well, we'll
have
roll
Clay.
the tape earlier or later.
By the way, Clay Clay reached out several times after the show yesterday inquiring about Bart's personal relationship that he developed from a chance encounter.
He had an odd interest.
With a worker.
A worker.
Anyhow,
One of the worker bees.
Are we going to continue to play this game? 11 a.m. softball. Let me give you some sports. The Knicks do play tonight. I said tomorrow on the way into break. And if you know anything about the show and me, I often get days wrong. Today is Friday, right?
It is.
Do
All
we
day.
have the right date
Yes.
on the notes? Today's May 23rd. So
2025.
sync up. Let's just sync up real quick. It's May 23rd. It's 7:19. The Knicks play tonight. The Razorbacks play softball at 11 and baseball at 3. Okay, that'll handle things for now. Ross Dellinger's coming up in a few minutes with the state of college athletics as it relates to what's going on in the Senate and the Commission of College Sports and all the NIL stuff. I think it'll be insightful. So we'll get – it's kind of the big national college sports news right now. There's a lot coming out in the last couple of days, so we'll get that from Ross. In the meantime, we're playing some version of Jeopardy that Bart has just been working on all
Stayed up all
night.
night. Stayed up all night.
And so we have to do it, and I stink at this.
You don't
And-
stink.
Oh, my God.
It's a close match.
Let's finish it off. I didn't say Chuck was much better, but
All right. Sports nicknames are playing sports ball. Chuck, the choice is yours.
Sports nicknames for 200, Bart.
As you might guess, Hall of Fame goalie Martin Brodeur, known as Satan's Wallpaper, played 21 years with this NHL team. Chuck.
Who are the Buffalo Sabres?
Incorrect.
I forget who he played
Who
for.
are-
Who are the Colorado Avalanche?
Also incorrect.
Who are the
Why would
Chicago
you-
Blackhawks?
No.
Who are the Oilers?
Who are the New Jersey
Who
Devils?
are the New
okay.
Jersey Devils?
Who are the Boston Bruins?
Oh,
Let
he
me run
gave
through
us-
all the
he
hockey
gave us-
teams I know.
Remember when Bart said if you're a sports fan and you watch sports questions on Jeopardy, you watch them and you're like, what an idiot? That's us right now.
That's right. That's right. People are yelling at the TV.
The 400.
I gave you the hint.
The 400 clue. The answer: this late Lakers superstar gave himself the nickname Black Mamba, the code name
I got
of
it.
an
I got a
assassin.
question. Who is Kobe Bryant?
Correct.
That was a tough one.
600. These are real Jeopardy.
The
clues.
$200 question was a lot tougher than the $400 question.
This Yankee shortstop.
Who is Derek Jeter?
Correct. The 800 clue.
I'm just waiting on the big money.
A world record holding sprinter recently trademarked this famous victory pose. Also,
Who is Usain Bolt?
Chuck.
Incorrect.
Oh. Incorrect. Who is Carl Lewis?
You did not listen to the
The
clue.
U.S. The U.S.
A world record holding sprinter recently trademarked this famous victory pose. Also his nickname. We were looking for
The Bolt.
What is lightning bolt?
What the pose was. Yeah.
And the $1,000 clue.
See, well, that's what happened, kids.
As a young tennis player, this Spanish phenom was nicknamed El Nino. Chuck.
Who is Eli Nastasi?
No, really, who is? I have no idea. Incorrect.
I don't know who it
I
is.
should know that.
Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, where's he from?
Rafael
Bang.
Nadal. Yeah, bang.
Do I get points for that?
Yeah, sure. You're on my team. Thanks, Edward.
I'm getting routed now.
Well, that one didn't go.
I
That
didn't
one
get
didn't
it.
go your way there, Chuck. Playing sports ball, last category
Okay.
before Final Jeopardy.
Oh, well.
The $200 clue.
I'm sandbagging.
In 2004, LeBron James welcomed his son Bronny into the world. In 2024, he took his son to work as both play for this team.
Ding, 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 ding.
Bo.
Who are the Los Angeles Lakers?
Correct. For 400, in 2019, Novak Djokovic and this Swiss mister couldn't get enough of Wimbledon, matching up for 4 hours and 57 minutes. We need to work on the tennis, apparently.
Well,
who is Roger Federer?
I don't have.
Okay.
I don't have great recall on this.
me
I mean, we know the names, but we don't.
600. For women, the playing area of this sport is roughly 27 yards by 22 yards and 6 feet deep.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh.
What is water polo?
That's correct.
My God.
But
This is rigged.
But
It's
I can't.
rigged.
But I can't
It's
remember
rigged.
Rafael Nadal,
No, but you got
or
water
Roger
polo.
Federer's name. I'm wearing Roger Federer's shoes right now.
The $800 clue, we get a kick out of this Argentinian who in 2012 became the first player to score 5 goals in a Champions League match.
2012?
Yeah.
Lionel Messi. Who is Lionel Messi?
Chuck?
Diego Maradona.
No, Bo was right.
I had my hand up for like 2 minutes.
I'm naming all these guys from like the 70s.
It's going downhill for Chuck real quick.
If he says Messi, if he says
It's
who
double
is
Jeopardy.
if he says who is El Chapo, I'm leaving.
All right, big money. I gotta come back.
$1,000 clue in playing sports ball. In 2024, the only Jewish starting quarterback in college football was Jake Retzlaff.
Bam. Brigham Young University.
Correct.
Yes!
Of this Provo school, one of 3 members.
He didn't even say
From
who.
way downtown.
He didn't even say who.
I said what is Brigham
He said
Young
what is,
University?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what.
Take
I didn't hear
that.
the question.
Okay, so it's going to come down to Final Jeopardy.
Yeah, it always does.
It always does.
Everything's made up. The points don't matter.
Do we have to write this down
No. Well,
and like hold it up the way they do?
well, this is
That
an
would be
audio.
nice.
This is an audio element. So
Oh, okay, all right.
Well,
But what?
We could
It's
do
not
both.
who's
We could do
first.
both.
It's not who's first.
No. It's
I
just
got
about whether
you.
or not you
This
get it
is
right.
so
I
ridiculous.
got you.
The
it
clue
really
in
is stupid.
NFL geography: it's the state with the lowest population density that's home to an NFL team. 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
Wow, this is even better radio right here.
repeat the question, Bart.
Yeah.
It's the state with the lowest population density that's home to an NFL team.
I got it.
You have 10
Chuck,
seconds
do you
to
have an
think
answer?
about it. If you have an answer, please write it down.
Lowest population.
Lowest population density. You don't have to
You don't
write it
have to
down.
write
You don't
it.
have to write it down.
Go
Okay.
to Bo first.
Bo, what'd you come up with?
Do I have to ask it in a question
Yes, you
form?
do.
Like, what is the state of Louisiana?
Sorry, that's incorrect.
That's incorrect.
Yeah.
There's one smaller that has an NFL team.
Population density we're talking about. Chuck?
What is Wisconsin?
Also a good guess, but incorrect. The correct response. What is Nevada?
Oh, well.
Las
Hadn't thought about
Vegas.
that. The
Less
Raiders.
population
The
than
Raiders.
Louisiana.
Population density.
Yeah.
It's one of the smallest states in terms of population density.
What do you mean by density? Like the number of people living in the state?
In terms of how big the state is and the number of people in the state, yeah. That was a real final. That was like 2 days ago
Yeah,
on
it was
Jeopardy.
it was a recent one.
Yeah.
Does the density thing throw it off? Like, does that change the?
That's
Well,
different than
there
population.
aren't it
Yeah.
doesn't have Nevada doesn't have a huge population to begin with, but it's also it's a pretty big state,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
See,
So the density does. I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
The lesson here,
Really
Bart,
threw me for a loop there.
the lesson here is if you're going to come up with a segment like this, you have to have intelligent hosts. Or you're going to have to dumb down your questions. One of the two.
well,
We did great. It's kind of like when I watched
wouldn't say
Jeopardy.
we
The
did
first round
wouldn't say
is
we-
good. And after that, it's a struggle.
Yeah. Well, it's honestly all.
Double
we did,
Jeopardy, Final
all-
Jeopardy, always a struggle.
All we did was embarrass ourselves.
Well, you're right.
So
Bart embarrassed
we're going to
us.
recover when we come back with the great Ross Dellinger on what's really happening in the Senate, the Sports Commission, and the State of the Union in college athletics. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, helping you bank better all over the state. More convenient locations with smiling faces and friendly professionals. Arkansans helping Arkansans. First Security Bank, member FDIC. FSBank.com online, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
rules we set down when we started this show was we're not going to leave our best shots on the driving range.
We do it every day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ross Dellinger is a national college sports reporter, covering it all, a lot of football, and longtime friend, does a great job, and has been all over a lot of things happening right now. And there have been a lot of things going on. He's at Yahoo Sports. He's joining us here on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Friday morning. Ross, I know you've been busy. Thanks for making time for us. A number of places we could go today, but what's going on with this sports commission that it seemed like Saban was going to co-chair, and then he sort of like maybe backpedaled a little bit. You've had a front row seat to it in terms of talking to people involved. Where are we with this and the state of college athletics?
Yeah, it's been kind of a little bit of a soap opera to follow, but about 2-3 weeks ago, Nick Saban, Donald Trump went down and gave the commencement speech at University of Alabama. And while there, he met with Nick Saban, and there they kind of decided, or at least Donald Trump decided, to form a presidential commission to study college sports, basically. And I think he wanted Nick Saban to be a part of it, and he picked Cody Campbell, who's a Texas businessman and a big donor to Trump, and a big Texas Tech booster to kind of spearhead the commission. And for about 3 weeks, he did that, and he even recruited members potentially, sent invitations to people to be on the commission, called everybody at the NCAA, all the heads of the NCAA and the power conferences, and get a list of recommendations for commission members. So everything seemed like it was a go, but then you had Nick Saban speaking out against it, sort of, which was weird. And then Cody Campbell and Nick Saban met actually a week ago, last Friday, and things went well. I think Saban was going to be, instead of a leader on this commission, going to be more of an advisor. And then this week, the White House decided to pause all plans for the commission. And there's probably a few reasons for it. But one of them certainly is the negative impact that a presidential commission could have on ongoing negotiations in the U.S. Senate for a college sports bill of some sort. Democrats and Republicans are trying to agree on a bill. They have been trying for 5 years now. And I think there's a thought that the president, being a bit of a divisive figure, especially for Democrats, obviously, could cause a negative impact. So I think for now, they're sounds like they're pausing it. It may never happen, or it may happen in a few months if they don't get some kind of federal legislation.
So if I understand what you're saying correctly, there is a bill that could change the way college athletics is being operated right now. What would that look like?
What does that look like?
What is that?
Yeah, about 5 years ago, the NCAA began to come up here to Washington, D.C. and lobby for a college sports bill. For the most part, to protect, the NCAA wanted antitrust protection. They wanted protection to enforce their rules and not get sued, which they've been sued many a times for enforcing their rules. So the thought was we can get protection from Congress, kind of like the NFL and other professional sports organizations have, to protect our rules. So that lobbying effort started more than 5 years ago. But now it's kind of evolved. The NCAA and the power conferences are asking Congress for three things to be in a bill. One, it is that antitrust protection still, so they can enforce their rules. But there's some other things that have popped up, obviously. The second thing is an anti-employment clause where college athletes would be deemed students and not employees, right? So you have the antitrust protection, you have the anti-employment. And then the third thing is a preemption of state NIL laws, so that you have just a federal bill that's governing everything and not all these different state NIL laws. So that's what they want. they're in the middle. 5 U.S. senators are in the middle of negotiations over this, and they have been pretty regularly negotiating over this for the last, I'd say, 4 months, 3 or 4 months. It's been actually pretty progressive. Things have progressed enough that a lot of college leaders, when they came up here to D.C. To lobby about 6 weeks ago, they were pretty confident that something was going to happen. But in no surprise, as Congress often works, there's a little bit of a stalling out in the talks the last few weeks. And it probably involves the anti-employment clause. Obviously, the Democratic side, has an issue with that. And there's some other issues kind of popping up. So right now, I'm not sure how close it is to them agreeing on something, but I guess it's close enough that the White House thought the Presidential Commission should at least be paused for now to see if these negotiations can get to a resolution.
Ross, one of the reservations I think some people have, I have it, frankly, is that when legislation is ultimately voted on, it's going to be a party line vote just like everything else is. And you said a moment ago, you alluded to one of the parties, and I'm not picking sides, but is there concern that when a bill like this finally comes to a vote, that the votes won't really come on the merits of the bill just based on which way the party's going?
Well, that's why these negotiations right now are important, to get a bipartisan bill where you have both Republicans and Democrats on, signing on to the bill to introduce it. So there are 5 senators that are negotiating: 2 Republicans, Ted Cruz and Jerry Moran from Kansas, and then 3 Democrats: Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut, Cory Booker from New Jersey, who's a former Stanford football player, and Chris Coons from Delaware. And they've been negotiating. And so the thought is that they can get everybody, all those 5, on board with a bill, then this thing could get through. It will be bipartisan. It'll be signed on by, 3 Democratic leaders, including one that used to be a football player. So there's a thought that this will be pushed through if they can come to an agreement. But even if they do come to an agreement, your point is on, in that when it does actually get to the floor, if it does make it that far, will Democrats move for a bill that has an anti-employment clause in it? Because Democrats are often backed by unions and certainly are pro-labor, pro-collective bargaining, pro-employment often. So that is certainly a concern on the Republican side and those in college athletics.
So Ross Dellinger in Washington, D.C. for Yahoo Sports, covering all of this. And here we are in what is just kind of, I think we all agree, a mess, and something needs to be done. And this has been worked on for 5 years, and it's not done yet. It may be problematic to get through. What do you think's going to happen? Where do you think we're headed, Ross, with college athletics, the revenue sharing, the NIL? Like, I know there's a billion different ways you could go here, but if you were to just sum up, like you just ran into somebody in the elevator and they're like, "Hey man, what do you think about all this? Where are we going to land? Where are we going to be in a year or two?"
Yeah, things are changing so quickly. Feels like it's something new every day, and so it's certainly hard to predict, but it's pretty clear with the way college football especially has gone lately, that we're heading toward a more formal split between the schools that have a lot of the money and schools that don't have as much. And when you introduce revenue sharing, which is happening July 1, allegedly, if the House settlement is approved, and then revenue sharing will begin July 1. When you introduce revenue sharing, just like kind of in the NIL era in general, you're probably going to have those with the most money be able to afford the best players and then thus win more on the field. And so at some point, and on the court, So at some point, you're going to have a more formal split, whether that's the top, just the Big Ten and SEC breaking away and competing against themselves, or the Big Ten, SEC, the ACC, and Big 12. Maybe all the four break away and compete against themselves. We are heading toward a day where that almost certainly will be happening.
I'll get you out of here with this, Ross. When you, when we met, when you were in Louisiana, I think you were working for the Advocate then. It was a long time ago. And Ross's wife is a correspondent in D.C. And so you moved to D.C. When you did as a sports reporter, did you know that sports would be moving to Washington, D.C.?
He just followed you there. He followed you there.
Yeah. In fact, when we made the move, I was just a year into my job for Sports Illustrated. I just gotten the job like 8 or 9 months before that to be a national reporter, moving on from the LSU beat, as you mentioned there, for the Advocate and the Times-Picayune to this national role covering national college football for Sports Illustrated. And I thought, this is going to be like the worst move for my career to Washington, D.C. I'm moving out of the hub of college football, right, the southeastern footprint, and moving into the mid-Atlantic. But lo and behold, within a year, NIL got rolling, and all the athletic administrators found their way up here often. It's almost once a week I get a text from somebody, hey, I'm up on the Hill. Yeah. So it's been beneficial for the coverage of the college sports business aspect.
Well, you're doing a great job, and thank you for disseminating the information to us, because it's hard and it's confusing, and you're doing a great job educating all of us, so thank you. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a great day. Appreciate you making time. I mean, I promise you, he doesn't have time to be on our show today.
I'll bet his phone
really
rings
great.
a lot.
Oh, it was really great of him to come on. I learned a lot there.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you a snapshot.
More than I wanted to learn.
Well, it's almost like it's so complicated. Like, get back to us when y'all are done with this, and we'll talk about it then.
That's right. That's right.
It's 7:45, the Chuck and Bo Show on a Friday. You know, it's like when you try to take a picture of this amazing thing you see, and you look at the picture you take in your phone, and it's not the same. Like what it looks like
every time I take a selfie.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best car wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow, the text line's on fire today.
Now, there's a difference between
The show's
fire and burning to the ground. I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah.
And we've straddled the line, but there is fire involved.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you see Ty Richardson?
He's at the
morning
tournament,
run. He's been down there for like 3 weeks. The Hawks don't play
Got a head
until
start.
the Hawks don't play until today. He's been
That's
down
funny.
there since Monday.
Yeah.
And I saw on Hit That Line on social media, he filed a report. So I guess he's dabbling into like live reporting, like he's a
Streaming?
correspondent.
Oh.
So he recorded this report, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, what is that? Listen to this.
Hey, stay tuned with our coverage here in Hoover, Alabama, and the Hoover men. Arkansas set to play Ole Miss on Friday at 3 o'clock after the Rebels beat
What is that noise?
last night. All of our coverage is presented by Crabtree.
It's like he's standing in front of a blower or a fan.
That's really loud.
I can't hear him.
Bill's going to be with us later on today. We're checking with Ruskin and Jack as well. And don't forget about Frog Reaction following Arkansas 3 o'clock game against the Rebels tomorrow. All here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com or Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
I heard Taco Bell.
Is that a giant fan? At first, I thought it was music.
If you watch it, it's
At
him.
first, I thought it was music, but
him
it's
in
not.
an empty stadium.
Yeah.
And that loud noise of a fan or a blower. Let's see what happens if we add like a chainsaw to it.
Hey, stay tuned with our coverage here in Hoover, Alabama, and the Hoover Men. Arkansas set to play Ole Miss on
Like, you got to be able to hear the report.
Oh, God, that's funny. That'll happen, man. You can't control everything.
Yeah, but when you're live, like okay, we don't record it in front of the chainsaw. I mean, what is happening?
Well,
He must have been
it's a little
tired,
noisy.
and he's like, listen, I got to get this over with.
gotta
I've
knock
been
this
down
out,
here
man.
all week. I got a tea time.
That's right.
Holy cow.
That's funny.
So anyhow, hopefully that fan's not going for the entirety of the morning rush.
Ooh.
For the,
or that chainsaw. I mean,
oh, wow. I
one
saw
loud
that, and I was
chainsaw.
just like, man, you got to, somebody's got to turn that off, or you got to go somewhere else.
I'm waiting on that.
But he's there. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not there.
That
He is.
correspondence report from that sports bar.
Yeah. The
That'll
correspondent.
probably happen late tonight.
I was going to have him come on the show, but I didn't know if we'd be able to hear him. So we'll
cutting down some trees.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not doing any of that. Oh man,
Well, you
Hogs
mentioned
playing.
Harvey Updike.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we did. That came out of the Jeopardy. It's National Cooler Day, by the way. National Road Trip Day. National Lucky Penny Day. National Taffy Day. National Don't Stand in Front of a Big Ass Fan when you're recording
exactly.
a report. And I say that because that's the brand name. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, almost 8 o'clock.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnumcosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
So I was in the lovely metropolis of Mountain Home over the weekend. I get invited to eat dinner with the great Clay Henry and his wife, Jean Ann. We went to Salsa's in Mountain Home. Their waiter, who waits on them all the time, says, Clay's in the restroom. I didn't know you had a son. So Clay's now my father.
Wow, that's big.
I'm going to start calling
I've always
Clay Daddy.
wondered in your private moments
Yeah.
if you would just go ahead and call him Dad or Daddy.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Bart, we're going to send you out for a report. We want you to find loud construction zones. The jackhammer. Find the jackhammer guy and do a report from the jackhammer.
Yeah, I got a leaf blower you can take with you just for ambient sound.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's a blower.
We've pinpointed it during the break.
Yeah.
We isolated the
instead
the
of
sound
preparing
wave.
for the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
We went back and pinpointed exactly what this is. It's a blower in the stands.
Yeah.
And the reason it's like bouncing around is because they're in the stands and it's concrete. It's right below him.
Right.
And you nailed it right off the bat. That's a blower. I thought it was a fan. But it was, but it is a blower.
Well, that's what they do. They
and then
clean
the
out the
chainsaw.
stadium.
Now the
Yeah.
chainsaw was unmistakable.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing out there with that, but yeah, that is a blower.
Hey, day 2 of our coverage here in Hoover, Alabama.
That's a blower in the back.
Yeah.
Arkansas sent to play Ole Miss on Friday at 3 o'clock after the Rebels beat the Gators 3-1 last night. All of our coverage is presented by Crabtree Army Center in Alma and Hoover.
And that's a chainsaw. That's a chainsaw there. I never knew a chainsaw could be so funny. Oh man. Hey, well, it's it's the hazards of reporting live. You can't always control what people are doing
it's
around
not
you.
live.
Well, I mean, that's true. I guess I could have waited about 10 minutes.
That's the point. It's not live.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, I guess.
Bart, when we send you to Oklahoma City, if Arkansas goes to the College World Series.
And you're going if they do.
If you're going, if they go. We need your reporting to be audible.
No
we need to be able to
chainsaws.
hear it. If they're running a chainsaw, you're going to have to wait till later. If they're running a blower, you're going to have to wait till later.
I think we can handle that.
You think you got that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow. That was funny.
It's Hit That Line app is powered by Taco Bell. I got that at the
Yeah, you did.
I got that at the end. But anyhow,
That was
do love a good Crunchwrap Supreme.
That was good, right?
you know,
there.
the Hoover, it's an empty stadium except for the guy with the blower.
Yeah, the one guy.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, would you mind?
You gotta find that guy.
No, I can't wait 10
You got to
minutes.
find that guy and ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to do a report up here.
Or you just go to a quiet place.
Yeah.
This is one of the hazards.
That was something.
Like when we tape these coaches' football shows after games.
I know.
That's
And they're
one of the
mowing
hazards.
and they're mowing the-
They got
out
the
there
blowers.
doing the roller on the field.
Go back to artificial turf.
We've had some pretty serious arguments on fields
Oh,
before.
yeah, they got a job to do. You got a job to do.
Yeah,
It
we
didn't work out.
Yeah, and yeah, sometimes that comes up.
Dude, that's the worst. Like doing an interview
Oh,
in a
God.
spot where you think you've got a secure place and then you don't, and you're in the middle of an interview and it's going to be like a 15-minute sit-down interview, and here comes somebody walking behind in the background, and you're like, well, there goes that, and then here comes some, or door slams, or inevitably we'll be taping a hog pod down there at Razorback Stadium during football season, and we've got a slot picked and had no idea somebody was cleaning something that day. Or the forklift is moving around and you got the beeping going on. It is one of the hazards of the job, or you just don't worry about it.
Well, the year we beat LSU.
You just say whatever.
The year, I guess it was Pittman's second year when we beat LSU down there. I mean, seriously, I almost got arrested because, they told us we had to leave.
I'd love to see that.
And I said, I'm not, we're not leaving. And I mean, it was really it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but they were mad because Arkansas had won. And so sometimes that will happen.
That'd be the equivalent of you and Pittman having to get off the field and you go stand in front of the bus and somebody tapes it on a phone.
Yeah. Well, this guy was a big talker until, like, Pittman walked out, and then he shut up, said, "Congratulations, coach," and all that stuff. I mean, he was one of those guys. Yeah, he was campus guy. You know, he was
fake tough guy.
He was a big
Everybody's
shot.
got a job to do.
No, I understand.
Everybody's got a job to do, and then here comes the head
and
coach
everyone did their jobs, and we got out of there.
And they let you do your job.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Everything worked out fine.
The Hogs and Rebels today at 3 o'clock. Hogs are a 2 seed. Ole Miss is a 7 seed, 3 o'clock today on the SEC Network. And if you missed it earlier, they made the announcement yesterday afternoon that Bart's softball team is playing at 11.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Bart's got his cooler. He's got the ice going in there right now.
What are you going to have? You really taking a cooler to the game? Or are you tailgating? Are you tailgating?
There's some potential.
What do you put in your cooler? What do you put in your cooler? What goes into your cooler, Bart?
The plans have all been shifted because of the
I
game
can bring
time,
a blower.
so.
Chuck can bring a chainsaw. We can do reports. Like what time do we need to be there?
You make sandwiches? You bring sandwiches
I don't
to the
think
game?
there'll be any sandwiches.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe
tomorrow.
Taking the Blackstone to the tailgate?
Well, no, that's entirely too large to take. I don't have a small Blackstone.
There we go.
Chainsaw's optional.
Yeah. What time do we need to be there?
For what?
The tailgate.
There's not a tailgate.
You said you were bringing
You're
sandwiches.
bringing a cooler.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to bring a cooler, but that's just like, pop the trunk, sit there, and
that's what I mean.
That's the definition of a tailgate.
Have a couple pops before.
That is a tailgate.
Can you translate for me, Edward?
Really?
I mean, gosh,
You just defined a tailgate.
Well,
Bo asked when the tailgate was. You said there was no tailgate.
Kegs and eggs, baby. Come on.
Well, there won't be any food or anything today.
Are you uninviting us? I'm pretty sure.
You don't want us to come.
I thought you were making sandwiches.
Do we embarrass you,
No,
Bart?
there were no sandwiches.
Do you not want to be seen with us?
Chuck
do
said you were making
you not get enough attention when Chuck's around? Too many people recognize him.
Do we embarrass you? Are you
Is that-
afraid we're
this
going
gotta
to
be your
embarrass
thing?
you?
No.
This has got to be your thing.
No, you guys are more than welcome.
You know what? I think we're going to come and we're going to park about 5 spots down and we'll sit on my tailgate and Chuck and I will have our own thing.
I'll come to that
My
one.
cooler will be filled
I'll
with.
bring my son.
Me and Edward and Bo and
Bart's
Edward's
down there.
son.
He doesn't want us
we can have our own
around.
tailgate.
He doesn't want us around.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Bennett, this is how you tailgate. See that guy down there? Bad people.
The plans are all changing because of the time change.
What do you mean they're changing?
Well, we were going to be out there for a longer period of time, but now the game's at 11 in the morning, and I'm not going to be out there quite as long.
And that's why you don't want us to come?
But I still don't want to pay $10 a pop for a soda at the game, you know?
I don't understand.
But what does that have to do with me and Bo coming?
What is all this?
What does that have to do with us joining?
Rubbish.
Nothing. You're allowed. I never said you couldn't.
just
No,
asked
but
you
it
what
was
time
not
we're
welcoming.
supposed to
It was
be
not
there.
welcoming.
I don't know. The game's at 11.
But there are sandwiches.
10:30.
No, there are no sandwiches.
Sandwiches at 10:30.
There are no sandwiches.
Well, we're
Bart's
gonna have
car.
sandwiches in our tailgate. so don't be coming over and asking for any.
We'll be in lot 56
That's
at,
right.
at 10:30. Never mind, Bart. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're just kind of wading through it, figuring it out with you this morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You're going to be there, right?
Maybe.
Well, I'm saving you a seat.
I'm giving it the big maybe.
The hard maybe.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, let me help my daughter out real quick.
Okay.
Bart's left for the tailgate, I think.
Chuck, why don't you
He's
tell
back
us?
there checking his ice chest.
Why don't you tell us about how to buy or sell a home?
Well, I will, as
go
a
get
matter
my
of fact.
daughter something she needs.
I was going to say, you deal with your stuff, and I'll deal with mine.
Yep.
Hey, if you are buying or selling a home, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company is the name that you need to remember. And look, if you're a first-time buyer, and Bo's son found this out, sometimes there's money out there you didn't realize was available. There's financial opportunities. Let's just put it like that. And they know about that at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You also may wonder, is this the time to sell my home? They can answer that question for you, too. Maybe you have to move. Maybe it's time to go. Maybe you've been transferred. Maybe you're downsizing. Whatever your situation, partner with one of the real estate pros at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington, and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson now. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Now, we've been putting together our own tailgate. And if you don't want us at yours, we've been putting together our own. Did you get that taken care of?
Yeah, and there's some people out there already wanting to contribute to the tailgate.
It's amazing how quickly a plan can come together.
So Bart, we tried to go
This
to
is
Bart's
what we're
tailgate.
having. This is what we're having.
And Bart's like, I don't know when it's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
basically made
is
us feel
saying,
like,
I'd rather you not
don't
come.
bother.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there 30 minutes before first pitch.
Yeah, well, we're going to be
30
out there.
minutes. That's not a tailgate.
Yeah, we're going to be
That's
out.
all the time I got.
We're going to be out there at 10:30, Bart. We're going to be about 5 spots down from you.
Great.
Herman's called. They're bringing ribs.
Yep.
We got some sliders, chicken tenders. Margarita Man's going to be there.
Potato salad.
Southern Food Company's bringing their famous Bloody Mary. Flight by Yingling.
Pony rides.
Good to have pony rides for the kids. Animal balloons. Encrustables for the kids. Baked beans.
You gonna have anything like that at your tailgate, Bart?
Cornhole. So, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna play cornhole.
No, I'm going to have alcohol.
Are you? Well, I mean,
Well, I
you
think
just
we
said we're
mentioned
gonna
that.
have a keg of Yingling,
Yeah,
didn't
we're
you?
going to have a keg of Flight by Yingling.
So
And maybe you've heard of it. It's the next generation light beer.
Top that.
Tastes like a Yingling, 95 calories.
Oh, by
a
the
Flight.
way, we're not really sure what time it's going to start.
Yeah.
But if you want to come by, I mean,
Maybe 10:30.
Come on by.
I hate you guys.
You know, 10:30 or so.
You guys are the worst.
Listen, listen. We could have brought all that to you. That's why. I mean, it was going to be a surprise. We just asked you, you know, what times it start, and you just danced around the question.
Well, because
like a politician.
The whole situation has changed with the game going from being at 7 o'clock tonight to
hear you.
11 o'clock.
Whatever. What? Tell me when?
Whatever.
When is it? When is it happening? When is it?
What time's your tailgate?
It's happening.
What time is your tailgate?
I can't hear you, Bart.
10:30.
And you're gonna have
Bart,
to.
are you there? Who's this report brought to you by?
Wow.
So that's what's going on at Bart's
Wow.
tailgate. That's what's happening.
That's a heck of a time.
Sounds like a big day. So softball's at 11.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's the word on the street. And the tailgate
Baseball's
start
at 3.
soon.
Looking forward to seeing Zach Root this afternoon on the
3 o'clock.
You called it earlier. These are what in the business, Chuck, you would call a hard start.
Hard start.
And a turn, yeah.
That means it's going to start at 11 and it's going to start at 3.
No moving.
No moving. No games before. No, we're going to start the
delays.
game on the ESPN app, and then you can move over to our
go over
normal.
here to-
None of that.
The Trinity Broadcasting Network.
11
and
o'clock means 11 o'clock, and 3 o'clock means 3 o'clock.
Sterling.
Bang is right.
Sterling.
That's exactly right.
Sterling's in Center Ridge. Sterling, happy Friday.
Same to you. Same to y'all. I mean, out there in Bart, I ain't never seen nobody diss somebody so smoothly and dismissive on the radio.
Yeah, he just
I've never heard that
dismissive.
before.
Totally dismissed us.
It was, but
Yeah, I mean,
we knew what he was
after
doing.
y'all- yeah, I mean, that was terrible. Terrible. Oh.
Sterling, you're invited to the tailgate.
We thought he'd be happy to have us. You know, I think it is. He just wants. He's afraid Chuck's going to steal the spotlight.
No, he's afraid we're going to embarrass him. Is what the deal is.
And by the way, we'll have the
like
Bart
taking your parents
we'll have the
somewhere.
cardboard Bart cutout at our tailgate, hosting pony rides.
Hey, he's afraid y'all gonna drink all the beer.
Yeah, that too.
It's a fair concern.
That too. Sterling, you're invited though. You can come.
He doesn't want to
hey,
come
man,
to your
I feel-
party. Did you hear what we were going to have at ours? He doesn't want to hang out with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sliders.
Herman's ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Walk-ons,
this gonna be
brain
a fun
sliders.
day.
Go ahead, Sterling. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem, man. This is gonna be a fun day. I just wish that this game was originally scheduled for 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
You talk about me and the boys could skip. You know, you get a good reason to skip work.
I know.
You go up there on the hill.
Good point.
You tailgate, and then you go to some bar and watch the SEC championship game.
That's right.
I mean, the SEC tournament.
That is a good day.
That's a day.
That's a good day.
Go to the game, then go. By the way, do you have my? I should have gotten this out of the way before we skewered you like that. Do you have my credential?
Not anymore.
Hey, can we ride with you over to the stadium?
Can I ride with you since you have a party pass?
That's right. We're all going in your car. Your new car.
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry about all that, Bart. Oh, yeah, Sterling, I'm sorry, man. It didn't
Made
work.
your
But,
bed, sleep in it.
but you know what you got coming up after this weekend is the regional next weekend. For baseball.
yeah. That's a no doubt about it. That's a half. That became a tradition, especially with Dave normally plays the afternoon game.
Yeah,
now.
Dave likes that day game on Friday afternoon.
So that done became a thing that we do every year. But I didn't hear Eddie. If you can just tell me what time that he called in this morning, so I can go straight to it on the.
Yeah, it was 6:50. Yeah, it's the last segment of the 6 o'clock hour.
All righty, thank you guys. Y'all
Yeah,
have
it
a
was
great
fire.
weekend. Go home.
Thank you.
Thank
he
you,
was he
Sterling.
was on fire. Actually, calling for great balls of fire.
He was. Jerry Lee Lewis, the killer. You know.
What lost in all of this, seriously, is the weather this weekend.
Yeah.
And how it impacts the super regional.
Well, we're talking about moving up today. Well, they still got at least one more game after today, and maybe two. Oh my God. Siri. We were going to go to Bart, and it wasn't even necessary.
Hey, our friend Heath at Premium Brands, Bart, stop by and pick up all the Flight by Yingling you need.
Be glad to.
Then catch the baseball team and continue to drink Yingling at walk-ons.
Sounds like a plan.
On tap. Just tell them it's on us.
I'm in.
But people would leave and then go binge drink some more and get their buzz back on for the second half.
That's the plan right
That
there.
was a recall from yesterday's show. Oliver
So
Luck.
I think what's going to happen is softball's going to play today at 11, and then I think tomorrow's game time is also going to get moved up to more like mid-afternoon because there's going to be a window. It'll be raining, storming in the morning and in the evening, but there's going to be a window from like 1 to 6 or 5 or 6 where they're going to be able to get a game in tomorrow.
What about Sunday? What's it looking like?
Well, we don't think our hope is that it won't be necessary.
Yeah.
But
I
just in
understand
case.
that.
Sunday
but-
looks like the worst.
Does
of
it
the-
really?
of
The worst of the days?
Yeah.
It
Well,
could
beat 'em
could
two straight.
impact the how things go. It's weather, especially this time of year, and with baseball, it can change things. You can catch a break from it, or it can hurt you.
I mean, look, hey, like we're going to be dealing with rain for probably the next week here in Northwest Arkansas. Like, there's a chance there will be some impact.
You know what I'm
to
talking
regional
about
next
though.
weekend.
You know what I'm saying. Like, you're in a bases loaded jam, and here comes the rain, and maybe you get a break, and it saves you.
Or it starts
it's
lightning
the other way
at Bella
around.
Vista.
You're
so
in
you got to stop the game.
8 miles. It's 8 miles now. It's 8 miles now.
We got some lightning up by Neosho. We better stop.
Do you hate anything more than a
Oh,
lightning
my
delay?
God. No.
It's
no.
just it's just the worst.
They've decreased the radius to 8 miles. So it used to be much larger than that.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting we play in lightning. No. But I'm saying I just can't the lightning delay thing when there is lightning. It's just maddening because you don't.
Here's
it's like,
the
oh,
deal.
there's another one, another automatic 30 minutes.
Restart the clock.
I don't know how far or how close lightning has to be for you to be able to see it, but that should be the cutoff. I mean, the idea that it's lightning 8 miles away, we can't see it or anything like that, but we're going to stop the game. Maybe let it get a little bit closer. I mean,
The official stance of the Chuck and Bo show is that we support player safety.
We could get another inning in. I mean, lots of time. I mean, how many games are you watching? Well, they could get another inning in.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you.
They have aluminum baseball in softball.
I'm not talking about
And you want to wait till we can see
I'm not talking about if there's lightning cracks right outside the stadium. I'm talking about if it's like 10 miles away or 8 miles away.
Well, maybe that is the distance that is too close. Like
How many of these delays have we gone through where it never even rained? It's true. You guys know it.
I feel your frustration. I do. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm also not saying you're right.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I heard you.
Hey, listen, we got potentially the College World Series coming up for the men and women. We'll see how this goes. You got NBA playoffs. You got golf trips. You got experiences maybe you want to go on. Have you ever thought about flying like a VIP? Maybe even out of the country to Mexico or Canada, the Caribbean. You can skip the TSA lines and you can fly in style. With jet aircraft, you literally drive your car right up to the plane. right out on the tarmac. They take your car, valet it, detail it while you're gone, and then you have a fully loaded bar and catering options on board. If you want plenty of luggage for up to 9 people, and maybe you're not in Northwest Arkansas, they can come get you. But if you want an experience, a memory, a trip of a lifetime, or you just got to get somewhere in a hurry, JetNWA.com is where you want to go. And check on the Jet Card memberships for even more perks. Maybe you want to round up some friends and take a special trip, a special golf trip to Myrtle Beach. Maybe play 36 holes in 2 days, only be gone one night. You pull your money together and you come up with a trip of a lifetime just like that. JetNWA.com. Jet Aircraft can help. That's Jet with 2 T's. I got to be honest, and I may offend some people here, and I don't, it's fine.
You've done it before.
Well, probably a few minutes ago.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy 1 Best Car Wash and get 2 free. 1 for mom, 1 for dad, 1 for your favorite grad, or just keep 1 for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer. There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we have one commercial break in the hour that is what we call in the industry a hard break. Meaning, in other words, it's going to fire.
Meaning it's not soft.
Yeah, whether it's not a soft break.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I mean, it definitely changes things. I mean, we're just fortunate we were in the top 4. So we get to skip a couple rounds, get a couple days to catch our breath a little bit after 30-game SEC game. So, here we are. We play Friday. If we win, we'll go with our next pitcher, and it's kind of like a weekend series. But, the other thing is you have a little bit of pressure because it's win or go home. But we got a good workout in, got to have the team all together. We'll be ready to play tomorrow.
DVH on the single game format that they are in the SEC tournament. So it's a winner go home. Zach Gillum's here, director of betting at Oaklawn Sports. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with the Oaklawn Sports app. Zach, good morning. Thanks for hopping on this glorious Friday so far, but we know weather's coming this weekend. How are you?
Oh, doing great. How are you guys?
Man, we're great.
Doing great.
We got softball at 11. We got baseball at 3. Let's start with DVH and the Razorbacks and the Ole Miss Rebels. Who's favored to win this game?
Yeah, this is exciting. Got a couple of matches against Ole Miss today. The baseball team is minus 240 right now against Ole Miss with the total at 10.5.
Anything else around that game that you can play, or is it pretty much pick the winner?
It's pretty much pick the winner right now. You'll see some expansions looking at the actual regionals next week.
Okay. And then is Arkansas still at the moment the favorite? Are there any odds on the SEC tournament, by the way, or is it just the World Series for now?
So the odds on the SEC tournament were up before the tournament started, but they have not reposted since the tournament started, so I don't really expect them to at this point. But the College World Series odds are still up. Arkansas is still your favorite. They're at 4-1. LSU's at 5-1. Tennessee at 8-1. And then we had a non-SEC team sneak in that top 5, North Carolina at 10-1.
Just curious, you may not remember, but going back when they were posted for the SEC tournament before it started, do you remember the favorite or the 2 or 3 at the top there?
Yeah, up at the top you had LSU, Texas. Arkansas was actually, I believe, the third choice. I can't quite remember the odds off the top of my head because I'm more thinking about softball over the last month or so.
I was just curious. I was thinking about it yesterday when Texas went down. When Tennessee knocked Texas out. All right, well, let's go to the softball game today. Super Regionals, Arkansas hosting Ole Miss.
Yeah, and Arkansas a heavy favorite in this one, minus 435 on the money line, and that is the only thing on the board right now. You can check back and see if they're going to have some additional markets posted, but not going to be shocked if we just see that money line. And for the future odds, Arkansas dropped as low as plus 310 before we took that off the board. They were, if you remember, 25-1 just a couple weeks ago, then dropped to 10-1, and those odds have just continued to go down.
Well, I think they really showed a lot in that regional, and it'll be interesting to see if that momentum can continue this morning at 11. I talked about, guys, the rain affecting the super regional potentially, interrupting the middle of a game, whatever. It's already affected it with the game starting at 11 a.m. today. That's not as maybe fortunate or unfortunate as the weather could interrupt mid-game. We'll see how it plays out. We've also got the NBA playoffs going on. Chuck's Knicks are hosting the Pacers.
They're going to win tonight? What's the story on that one, Zach?
Yeah, they're going to, after that first game, I feel like they need one. They are 6-point favorites in this matchup tonight, total at 224.5. And yeah, that was a crazy one the other night. I believe the Pacers at one point were 40-1 to come back and win that game.
Holy cow!
Yeah, well, they're down 14, 2 minutes to go.
Live in game, 40-1.
Live in game.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about overall? Is Oklahoma City the favorite now?
They are. With some of the other teams that were kind of taking money and really favored to win it, the Thunder have become an overwhelming favorite. They're, in fact, I'm going to have to double-check that those odds, they look almost funny to me, but it is early in the morning. They're minus 800 roughly is what I'm looking at right now to win the championship. Pacers at 550, Knicks at 8-1, Timberwolves at 20-1. In the Western Conference, obviously being up 2-0, this number doesn't shock me. They are minus 2,500. Timberwolves 11-1 if you think they're going to come back in that series. And then in the East, you have the Pacers at 167, the Knicks at 135.
Man, there you go, 8-1. You got some odds there, Chuck, some value.
I know. Hey, you said futures a minute ago. That made me think about college football. We were talking that earlier today. Can you place any kind of wager on college football right now? If you're like looking into the future, you got a crystal ball. How does all that work?
Yeah, there's a couple things you can jump into. There's actually some games that are already posted. Some of the larger games, for instance, or opening weekend games. So the game over in Ireland, the Kansas State-Iowa State game's on the board, and then some bigger matchups like Ohio State-Michigan later in the year's on the board. But for futures, you have to win the championship, and Ohio State is your favorite at plus 550. Texas is at 6-1, Oregon at 650, Georgia at 7-1. You have the conference winners on the board, and there are some pretty competitive conferences this year. In fact, there are no teams outside of Boise State in the Mountain West that are minus money to win their conference. So in the ACC, you're getting Clemson at even money. The Big Ten, Ohio State is plus 160, Oregon at 275, Penn State 3-1, Michigan at 5-1. So no matter where you look in the SEC, deep. So Texas at plus 210, Georgia's at 4-1, Alabama 6-1, LSU 9-1, Ole Miss 10-1. So you could really make a case. In Tennessee, who's had some strong years over the last few, even though we've shown we can keep beating them. They are 14-1.
I love that shot.
Can you do the same thing for the NFL? Anything on them up yet? Things like that?
Yeah, and the NFL actually, this is a pretty exciting time for those markets with the schedules being released. There's more and more being added to the board. So again, you can dive into week 1 games. Right now, those Cowboy fans are 7-point dogs headed up to Philly for that opening game. But also you have Super Bowl, NFC champion, AFC champion, all the divisions. You have most passing yards for the regular season or rushing or receiving. There's individual player props on the board. So there's a lot to dive into as far as NFL goes.
So there's a lot to – you got NHL going on as well. You got LIV. You have PGA Tour. Lot of action at Oaklawn Sports. Zach, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thanks for making time for us again, and we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball is underway. You got PGA, LIV action. I mentioned WNBA second season. Caitlin Clark's second season in the NBA. Angel Reese's second season in the NBA.
Angel Reese.
I was going to ask if they had odds on, if they were going to get in a fight at any point during the WNBA season.
Pretty sure it's already happened, right?
They're trying to market a whole season off that hard foul from the other night when Caitlin Clark fouled.
Was it even
Angel
really
Reese.
that hard?
It was just a basketball foul.
Yeah.
I mean, you can charge a flagrant if you want. That's fine. But I mean, it was, it wasn't anything malicious.
When's the next WNBA game start? Bart,
I don't know.
What time do we have a WNBA game? When's Caitlin Clark playing again?
Well, there are games. There are 4 games tonight.
Can I just say, Chuck? Can I hold on? Sorry. Isn't it amazing?
He knows everything.
That we in seconds.
I know.
We get whatever we want.
I know.
You can come to our tailgate.
Okay.
It's fine. I need my credential.
I think it's at Wilco.
But we are going in your car.
Yeah, but we are going in your car.
So go ahead.
There are 4 games tonight. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, not one of those teams playing tonight.
Do they play this weekend?
Their next game is tomorrow at noon. They play the reigning WNBA champion New York Liberty.
The reigning,
okay.
WNBA
Sabrina
champs.
Ionescu.
Hey, Arkansas's best sports betting app is Oaklawn Sports. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Right now, new customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you sign up at Oaklawn Sports. 877-377-6963 if you want to call or text the show. Did you have something, Edward, or you just...
Well, that was David and Cersei on the phone.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to come on, but that we should watch Nebraska versus Tennessee softball tonight at 6. Apparently a good pitcher matchup.
Is there a particular reason?
Pitcher matchup.
Carlin Pickens versus Jordy Ball.
There you go. There you go. That's exactly what David said.
Listen to this guy.
And two of the 3 best pitchers in the country, I would say.
Holy cow.
So you're backing up Edward.
So it's a pitcher's duel, is what I've been told.
A marquee matchup.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Bart, is John Daly invited to your tailgate?
Absolutely.
He is. So I accidentally started to play this yesterday when I was playing something else. We never got back to it. But apparently he was on Marty and McGee the other day. And every time Daly goes on a show, it seems he does one of 3 things. He talks about how much money he lost gambling, or has won, how much he's drank in a day, or
How much he smokes.
how much he. What was the other thing I was gonna? Oh, he sings "Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door." Yeah. One of those three. No, really. What's the name of that song?
Knock Knock Knocking.
That's
on
the
Heaven's
name.
Door.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Knocking on. Yeah. I
One
was just-
knocking.
Yeah.
But the chorus is knock, knock,
That's
knock.
the chorus. That's not the title of the song.
That's
Knocking
that's
on
it.
Heaven's Door.
There we
Yeah. Well, I guess the fourth thing is, or he talks about it being at Hooters.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he was
Gotta
on,
get that sponsor.
Anyhow, he was on Marty and McGee.
What is the largest quantity of those John Daly seltzers that you've consumed in a day?
I think I've done 55, 60 of these. We're non-carbonated. We're non-carbonated.
In a day?
Yeah, we're non-carbonated. There's no additive sugar. We're gluten-free.
One day?
Yeah, it's only 4.5% alcohol in them.
Yeah, it's not carbonated. It's basically water.
55.
Yeah, you got to hydrate. It's basically water, Don. Yeah.
So anyhow, there's that. If you want to have Daly at your
Now,
tailgate.
55's a lot.
You better be well
I mean,
stocked,
50.
Bart.
I mean, you gotta be committed to drink 55 in a day.
I do find the non-carbonation factor interesting.
Well, it's like
You know,
water.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't make you feel
Certainly seems
bloated
to be the
way
prevailing
carbonated
sentiment
better.
there.
Yeah.
It seems to be that. All right, it's 8:45. It's Friday. We're counting down to softball. We're a little over 2 hours away. And-
Less than 2 hours from
and
tailgate.
Yes. Did I say we need to do 9:30, not 10:30? I told everybody the wrong time.
So we're
9:30.
45 minutes
We need
away.
An hour and a half. Yeah, we're yes.
Okay.
We're 45 minutes
I
away.
told the pony ride people 10:30.
Well, that'd be fine. We're only going to need a couple of those in
Okay.
before we get
Yeah.
into the. Yeah. Do we have a mechanical bull coming?
Let me see what I can
Once the three of us take our pony ride, it doesn't matter. We'll just go into the game after that.
I want to see you and Bart in the old three-legged race.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me just.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at stonebreakerhotel.com.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
By the way, those are all gambles. Those are all raffles to some extent. They're all gambles.
Life is one big raffle.
It is.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, we're going to have some more storms this weekend. That's the word on the street. And it's, it's been stormy lately. If you've got gutter issues as a result of all that, it's only natural that you might. Hog Trough Gutters is who we recommend. They're locally owned and operated. They've been around a long time. When someone's been in business for 30 years in one spot under the same name, it generally means they're doing a good job. Same phone number and everything. They make the seamless gutters on site. They'll do French drains, trenching work. They're fully licensed and insured, and every job does come with a 20-year warranty. They service all of Northwest Arkansas, the entire River Valley. And you can log on and learn more about them at hoggutters.com.
I had this in my notebook over here. You think I can let this go now?
Yeah, I think
the
we're
SEC,
probably done with
the SEC basketball tournament bracket
might get
with the
rid of that.
baseball tournament underway.
Yeah.
Can I move on from that?
Hey, whiteout day today at the softball
Oh,
game.
Chevy, a fabulous
Yeah.
situation. Are you going to be wearing white
You got
today?
your whiteout?
No, I will not be participating in the
What?
whiteout, with all due respect.
What do you mean?
Why not?
Well, I'm look, I don't like the idea of doing a whiteout in a super regional. The last time Arkansas did a whiteout in a super regional, the Hogs lost the regional.
Oh my gosh!
The last, I think, 3 times that, including once this year already, the last 3 times that Arkansas has done a whiteout at softball, Arkansas has lost the game.
What were they
my
thinking?
God.
The
What were they
last time
thinking?
Arkansas
What were
did a
they thinking,
whiteout
Bart?
against Ole Miss, Arkansas lost the game.
Gosh.
I will be wearing the same color combination that I wore for all 3 games last weekend.
And what does that include?
I will be wearing this very hat that I have on right here.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I've seen that on TV.
With a red Razorback shirt, black shorts.
What about the Chuck and Bo pullover you have on right now?
It'll be too warm for that, I think.
Yeah.
What about tomorrow? You got your second game wardrobe plan?
It'll
I mean,
it'll be red shirt, black shorts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same ones, or you like
No,
have a
I mean,
different pair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not wearing
All right.
the same stuff over and over.
Well, I mean, you said I want to
But-
wear the same. I just wondered how superstitious you really
the
were.
same
washing them
color
until we win a College
the
World
same
Series.
color
Yeah.
scheme. I'm
Okay.
not messing with every game I have been to this year. When I have worn a red shirt and black shorts, Arkansas has won. Why in the world would I participate in a whiteout?
Do you get a ring? Do you get a ring for that?
I don't
They're gonna
believe
give you a
so.
ring.
Have you showered?
Yes.
How far are you taking this thing?
Yeah, really.
Huh?
That sounds a little weird, Bart. I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds a little strange.
What,
Do you
what
really
sounds
believe in this
strange?
stuff?
I'm not messing with the juju.
Do you believe in the broadcaster's jinx?
Very much so.
Do you really?
Yes. How do you not? It's like every time.
Do you believe in it, Chuck?
The first time I did a game with Z, he said broadcaster's jinx, or he said you jinxed him. I can remember the break turning to him and going, "We don't do jinxes around here, just so we're clear." Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I gave him that, and I don't believe in that stuff.
Every time a broadcaster mentions somebody's
Not
throwing
every
a no-hitter,
time. Not
they
every
lose the
time.
no-hitter.
Well, there's a certain way that through 6 innings you're hitless, and then you can start using the term after that. If you use no hitter before the 7th, then you've committed an error.
I mean, you've got to tell people what's going on.
You say hitless.
Yeah.
You say
There-
hitless.
there's a
without
way
hit.
to- there's a way
There are
to
ways
do
to
it.
say it without using the term no hitter.
You don't say so-and-so's throwing a no-hitter.
But you have an obligation. I've heard people say, "Well, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to jinx it." Well, you're not fulfilling your obligation. You're not part of the team. You know,
Chevy.
You got to say hitless.
Chevy at Fayetteville Situation Room. Bart's not participating in the whiteout.
Yet.
Nope.
Because he thinks it's bad.
Thinks it's silly.
He thinks it's
I
super,
don't. I didn't
it
say
ruins
it's
his
silly.
superstitious.
I just don't. Bad vibes. Bad vibes for me.
End of year savings right now. A few days left in May. End of year savings in May. That's right. That's what they've got going on inside the Fayetteville Auto Park at Chevy of Fayetteville. You can get a Silverado starting at $34,000, $6,000 off. A 25 Tahoe or Colorado, $13,000 off. A 25 Crew Cab Silverado off MSRP. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. Well, guys.
What a week.
Man.
What a
We're
week.
going to have a lot to talk about on
We are.
Tuesday.
That's right.
Yes.
Enjoy your holiday.
Memorial Day weekend. Please have a safe weekend and remember all of those that we are so grateful for on this Memorial Day weekend.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking